What is up, everyone? TCT here again, and welcome back to episode 5 of the It's Showtime podcast. I am your host, TCT, and I'm here to talk about week 2 of the NFL season. Now, for those of you that know, I am a fan of Washington. They did not do so well yesterday. They lost to the Arizona Cardinals 30-15. Now, before I had a video out of me bashing Dwayne Haskins Jr. I have since recalled that video because I really didn't like that I did that. Personally, for the fact that, yes, I do have my issues with Dwayne Haskins Jr. I was so upset at watching his play yesterday that I did not account for the fact that I'm bashing someone, and I really don't want to do that. But, yeah, I do not like him. I think he is terrible as of right now. Does he have a chance to grow? Yes. My personal problem with him is not the fact that he has no talent. He does have talent. My problem with Dwayne Haskins Jr. is that I don't really think he takes it seriously. He plays around too much, and you see it in his videos and his practice. There was a video I saw in the off season where they came up and asked, "Did they need anything?" And he goes, "What kind of snacks you have in that bag?" And they're like, "What do you want? Sour Patch Kids, Skittles, all this stuff that's bad for you. Give me an orange Gatorade too." And I was like, "Where's my orange Gatorade? I need orange Gatorade." Yeah, he's playing around. Yeah, I understand that, but come on, man. Like, you need to get serious. This team has been in the gutter for 20 years. They chose you. They chose you. Now, I'm not saying you're bad. I'm saying right now you're playing like trash. And it's not all your fault. It is a bad offensive line who lost Brendan Scherff halfway through yesterday. And the offensive line's got to give you more protection, but you've got to get the ball out in less than 3 seconds. Dude, you're holding on to the ball for like 6 or 7 seconds, and then when you roll out, you don't even know the fact that you're fast. You've got legs, man. Get the first down. Don't worry about trying to get it to a receiver. If you see no one open, run. And by the way, whoever's calling these pass plays on 2nd and 1, shame on you. If that's Scott Turner, dude, like, you need to really reevaluate. Gibson has been doing well. Barber has been doing well. And I hate the fact that I'm looking on YouTube and Facebook and seeing, "Oh, we have no running game. Why did you get rid of Adrian Peterson?" Every time a running back touches the ball, I don't know what game you're watching, but every time one of our running backs touches the ball, he averages 3 to 5 yards. And then, what was it? McKissel? Is that his name? There's so many new faces. I have no idea. Like, I'm slowly trying to relearn the roster. They cut so many people last year that it was pathetic, and that's how bad they are. They were pathetic. So I'm trying to learn the roster, but I think it's McKissick, and he did really good on his carries. He didn't have a lot of carries. They're like, "Well, none of them have over 100 yards." It's like, yeah, you're mixing 3 backs in. Rushing total, I think it did accumulate to over 100 yards rushing. Like, it really did. One running back's not going to get you that when you don't have a strong offensive line. You've got to mix it up, which is the reason they cut Adrian Peterson. They cut Adrian Peterson because he's a power back. They don't have a strong line, and Peterson wouldn't have been able to get past the line of scrimmage on most plays. He would have done well, but he would have got swallowed up in the backfield. And they need people who are agile. And Peterson's agile, but he's getting older, and they don't want to risk him, which is probably the reason Rivera cut Peterson, because he doesn't fit his style of play, which is totally 100% acceptable. It really is. And those of you who think it's not, I don't know. I don't know what your problem is, especially people that are saying that I don't know football. Guys, I played football. I know what trips are. I know what running back is. I know what a bad pass play is. So, you don't know a lick of football, man. Let me just tell you something. I do know football. When I'm asking what a play looks like what is this? I know it's trips. That's just because I'm frustrated at the play calling. I'm like, what? It's 3rd and 6, and you got trips. No. Like, you need to disguise that. And then when they disguised it, the wide receiver didn't even run past the first down marker. He stayed a yard in front of it, and that's their problem. They don't know where they are on the field. So I have no idea what to say about that other than the fact that they're playing dumb on offense. Haskins is not making good decisions, and when he finally gets a wide open man, if it's 5 yards or more, he's not making the throw. He's overthrowing because he's got a cannon. I mean, that's the thing. You need to teach him with some dump passes. Every dump pass that he made to McLaurin was pretty good. Then people question, he has a bad offensive line. The accuracy, it's going to develop. He's had 2 years to develop the accuracy. Yesterday, I watched him throw a 2-yard pass into the dirt. I did. He threw a 2-yard pass to a running back in the dirt because he's inaccurate. He's not taking it seriously. I mean, you have to take it seriously. It doesn't seem like it. If he's taking it seriously, he'll come out next week and he'll destroy Cleveland. He'll use his legs. He's got, dude, Dwayne Haskins, if you're listening to this, you have got legs, man. Use them. I'm not going to bash you anymore. I'm done bashing you because I know you're bad right now. Do you have the potential to be good? Absolutely. You have 100% chance of being good. Your problem is you're too young. You didn't play enough in college. You never got your ass kicked. You never got hit so hard that your ass was kicked. Like, I mean, come on. You never knew what it was like to get slaughtered in a game. So you didn't take anything seriously. Your coaches need to yell at you, man. And let me just say this. Washington's defense, you guys did a pretty good job. Yeah, you gave up 30 points, but a lot of that is because we couldn't hold the ball very long. We were 3 and out, punt. We had a long drive going, and then Haskins takes a sack and takes a field goal away from us. Like, we get into the red zone, he fumbled the ball. Listen to that. That's two good scoring drives right there that he messed up on. And people were telling me on YouTube, is like, hey, that sack, the defender came in too quickly. And I'm like, yeah, and Haskins decided to just fall down. Like, if you watch the play again, the defender barely touches him. Haskins falls down. Like, he falls completely down. It's like, dude, toss the ball away if you see that in your face. Just toss it away. Give you a chance for a field goal. No, he falls down. He's making poor decisions. So when I say I don't like Haskins, I'm saying right now, I never supported the Dan Snyder pick. Am I saying Haskins is bad? Absolutely not. I'm saying right now he is playing like trash because he is. And I said it last week. The defense won the game. For those of you who are deaf and can't open your ears, the defense won the game in Philly, not Dwayne Haskins. The defense won the game in Philly. The defense held Kyler Murray to 20 points at halftime, which is really tough to do. That guy is amazing, by the way. Let me just tell you that. I like Kyler Murray. I hope he does very well in the NFL. And I'm still a fan of Larry Fitzgerald after all these years. I've loved watching him his whole career. He's surely going into the Hall of Fame. I think he's a pure first-round Hall of Fame draft pick. Like, first ballot Hall of Famer is Larry Fitzgerald. The Cardinals, man, they're looking up. Washington, we're getting there. We're so close to having some pieces. We need offensive line. We need some more wide receiver threats. McLaurin, you can't throw the ball. If you look at yesterday, I think like 60% of the passes were thrown McLaurin's way. So that's crazy. You need a tight end. Logan Thomas, I love him. He's a good guy, but come on. He was a quarterback at Virginia Tech, I believe. And the fact that he's their tight end is ridiculous. They need a tight end. Like, they need like a Rob Gronkowski, a Jeremy Shockey. They need a good tight end. Jordan Reed was a great tight end. He stayed hurt, though, and people bashed him and hated him. You can't stay healthy because he couldn't. He couldn't stay healthy. But they had a great talent. But that's what they get for drafting hurt players. You get bad injury problems. So, like I'm saying before, I'm not bashing Dwayne Haskins. I'm telling you, this man needs to play better. He needs to develop quicker, or at the end of this season, Ron Rivera is not the guy that's going to give you a second chance. He's got a man that he trained down in Carolina, and Kyle Allen, that's backing you up right now. If you lose to Cleveland, if you play poorly against Cleveland, Baltimore is going to come in 2 weeks from now and roll on you, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins has to defeat the Cleveland Browns this Sunday. If he does not defeat the Cleveland Browns this Sunday, I fear for him as a starting quarterback. I really do. People are saying, oh, it's a bad offensive line. Guys, let me tell you something. Out of the 32-something teams in the NFL, 20 teams have a bad offensive line. Do you know why? Because all the defenders on the other side are professionals. I've seen Aaron Rodgers many times have a bad offensive line. Yet he can still throw to his receivers correctly. They can still get open. It's not always on the offensive line. Anytime a quarterback plays bad, you can easily blame the offensive line. I used to be an offensive lineman. I know how hard it is to guard a guy that's 3 times bigger than you. It's not easy. So, yeah, some of it has to do with the offensive line. The other has to do with poor decision-making on the quarterback's part. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash Haskins. He needs to grow up. And he's had 2 seasons to do it now. The fact that he's played, maybe 12 games. What was he, 1-9 last year? He's played 2 games this year. He's won 2 games out of the 12. That's not good. Even though he's been given, lousy players, it's still not good. He's got good, if you look at his stats, look at his stats. I'm going to pull up his stats. Let me look at his stats from yesterday, because this is insane, the fact that I even have to explain this to people. Let me see if I can pull his stats up. Okay, Dwayne Haskins yesterday in Arizona, you wouldn't know how poorly he played from his stats. Every week his stats are okay. And that's what disguises it. It's guys, we're not in the business of stats. We need to score points. Dwayne Haskins was 19 for 33, 223 yards, and 1 touchdown yesterday. I had 1,000 people telling me he scored 2 touchdowns yesterday. He did not. They rushed one of those touchdowns. Do you remember? They rushed in. Okay. Listen to Kyler Murray. He had 1 interception. That was, his bad. He made a bad throw. So Dwayne Haskins was 19 for 33. It's not too bad, right? Listen to Kyler Murray. 26 for 38. 286 yards and 1 touchdown. To most people, that would be almost even, right? Wrong. Kyler Murray on the ground destroyed Washington. He had, let me just go through the touchdowns here. A pass to DeAndre Hopkins for a touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown run by Kyler Murray. Then you had 2 field goals. And then a 21-yard touchdown by Kyler Murray again. So that 21 yards plus 14 yards plus all the other times he ran. Listen to those rushing stats for Kyler Murray. And even though Washington got some pressure to him, they were able to contain him somewhat. But the problem is he's got legs. He's a phenomenal player. If we had a team that could score more than 30 points, they would have had a shot here. Look, the moment where Dwayne Haskins fumbles the football inside the red zone, that a bad offensive line can attribute to that. But how many times have we seen Dwayne Haskins fumble the football in all these games that he's played the last 2 years? A bunch. Every time he gets hit, he's like Kirk Cousins. The ball comes loose. He falls to the ground. The ball comes loose because he doesn't know how to hold on to it. When you see you're going to get hit, hold on to it. Okay? That's a touchdown. So add 7 points to 15. So 7 points to 15 is what, 22? Okay. Then the missed field goal opportunity where he took a sack. Think about this, where he took a sack and knocked him out of field goal range. So add 3 more to that. 23, 24, 25. Right? And then they went for 2 because they were so far behind. Now imagine they had 1. So it would be 26-30 at one point if they had played correctly. They could have been dead smack in it. I mean, hell, it might have been 24 to 26 or 27 to 26 at one point before the Cardinals got that final field goal. Washington would have been dead smack in the game had they got off to a faster start. The fact that they didn't is what's hurting them. They have to come out against Cleveland because Myles Garrett is going to walk on Dwayne Haskins. I mean, Myles Garrett is a good defensive tackle. So the fact that Dwayne Haskins puts up good numbers. He just doesn't put it up on the scoreboard. He hits open receivers. Yes, he hits them. But when it's more than 10 yards, they had McLaurin on like a deep threat countless times, and they're blaming that on lack of practice, lack of preseason. I understand that. But you are a pro quarterback. You guys in practice, when they tell you the practice is over, you need to go out and play in the yard and just practice a little bit, not hurt yourself, but practice with a Nerf ball if you've got to. Just toss and get timing down. Like Dwayne Haskins, to me, he's a quarterback that can make it. But the way he's been playing, it's almost like he's dyslexic. And I don't know what to say about that because I'm dyslexic myself. You know, I've had those types of problems. I know that when it comes to decision making, he has to make them so fast that maybe his mind can't get there yet because he's not trained enough. But right now he's playing backup level. So, like I said, I'm not bashing him. He's got talent. He didn't play enough games in college to be able to learn what to do correctly, which is why it's taken him so long to develop. He needs to understand if he's got legs and it's 2nd and 1 and he has nobody open because Scott Turner makes a boneheaded play call, he can rush for that first down. Like if he drops back and he's able to roll out and has no one open, he needs to rush for that first down. Extend the drive. The more you extend the drive, the more your offense is going to click. The better your game is going to be, regardless of whether you win or lose. You're going to start feeling more comfortable, more agile. The offensive line is not going to give you any help, so you need to call more rollouts, more shotguns. And you need to know going into the game, hey, I'm probably going to get hit. So what can I do to avoid getting hit? I need to use my legs. So my main receivers in this play are mostly going to the right. So if I have to, I can roll out to the right. And if I can't find anyone open, I'll tuck it and run for 3 or 4 yards. Possibly 10 if you can get open. And then learn how to slide and don't take heavy hits like you did last week. Which should have been a penalty. I still say it should have. But yeah, for those of you who want to know why I deleted the video, that's why I did. Because I felt I bashed him too harshly while watching the game without actually analyzing what was going on. I watched the game again last night because I recorded it. He made some boneheaded decisions, but it wasn't all his fault. But the problem is he needs to hold on to the ball because I've seen him get hit a bunch of times and the ball comes loose. That right there could have been a good touchdown that would have got them back in the game. It would have really helped them. They were down only 7-0 at that point, I believe, or it was 10-0. I can't remember what the score was for that. But the defense intercepted the ball right there, and it gave you a golden opportunity. And when you're inside the red zone and you fumble the ball like that, it's sad. And then Washington needs to learn how to recover footballs too, because every time the ball's on the ground, they never recover it. They never do. And by the way, Landon Collins, you made a great interception yesterday, but dude, you need to play better, or Washington needs to get rid of you, because you've got burned so many times in the last 2 weeks. It's pathetic. Like, all the deep threats were towards you. And we are totally missing Kendall Fuller, because Fabian Moreau is trying so hard. I mean, there's players that he's up against that are way above his level. And I'm going to credit Fabian Moreau. He's playing his guts out, but they need Kendall Fuller. I mean, they've got a Super Bowl cornerback on the sideline because he's injured. When Kendall Fuller comes back, I pray to God he's back before they have to play Baltimore. But by the way, Chase Young yesterday did well. He had some good tackles. I don't know if he had a sack. I believe he was close. I can't totally remember because my mind was everywhere yesterday during that game, the fact that they were getting demolished like that. Ryan Kerrigan had a no-show game. People were asking me, does he deserve to be in Canton after last week? I'm like, look, if he can get to 100 sacks, anybody that gets to 100 sacks should definitely be considered, but that doesn't necessarily mean they go to Canton. I mean, then that means London Fletcher should definitely go, you know? I mean, Kerrigan's a good linebacker, but he's got to at least get to the quarterback maybe once a game, if not once every 2 games. He's got to at least get there. Maybe not sack him, but at least get him on the ground. And he's been there long enough. What is he, 32, 34? This is a contract year for him. We might not have Ryan Kerrigan at the end of the season. So whatever they're called next year, whether it be Red Wolves, Red Tails, whatever they come up with, I hope it's not Red Tails. Me personally, Washington Red Wolves is okay. I even threw in DC Heroes maybe, or Troopers. I don't know. They want to name something after DC. DC Troopers would be cool. DC Heroes, I don't know. They don't really grab the tongue. I think the most popular one is Red Wolves. You know, how to the Red Wolves, I guess, is what they would say. They would call FedEx the Lions, not the Lions Den, but the Wolves Den. I don't know. But I will say that, Haskins, I'm sorry for bashing you. I really am. But you need to listen to this. Like, you need to listen to your coaches. You're progressing. I mean, he's progressing. He's way better than he was last year. I will give him that. But the offensive line needs to step up. Morgan Moses, dude, for those of you who don't know, I'm around the University of Virginia. I'm not going to say where, but I am around the University of Virginia. I watched his entire career at UVA. Morgan Moses is a great guard, a great tackle. But the problem is he gets himself into trouble a lot. And he's starting to get older. Like, he's starting to get – his style of play is starting to fade into new generation. So we definitely need to address the offensive line, pick up as many guys as you can. Like I've always said, the heavier the better. You know, the smaller the offensive lineman, I don't care how strong he is, he's going to get bulldozed by a 400-pound guy. Like, he really is. You know, get a freaking sumo wrestler for all I care. Just get a guy that's really tough to move. I mean, if he's hard to move and he's strong, that's your guy. You know, I mean, he might get hurt, but at least you've got protection for a little while. I mean, there's people on the streets that could do a better job sometimes. There really is. Which is why I wish the NFL would seriously consider holding open tryouts, in which I'm sure they do in certain places. But during the season, after all the injuries yesterday, look, Saquon Barkley and Bosa, like, from, you know, Barkley from the Giants and Bosa from the 49ers. And then we've got, I watched the Pittsburgh game and I saw Drew Lock go down. I mean, all the injuries, man, it's killing the NFL. And it's from lack of preparation because they can't get their bodies in shape. I mean, that's what I attribute it to. They can't get their bodies in shape because of COVID. And, they only had a few months to practice. They had a few months to prepare. It's not enough to help your legs. When you want to tear an ACL or blow a knee out, you got to get most amount of weight off that you can. But by the way, let me just say how impressed I am with Cam Newton and his role with the Patriots. Yeah, they might have lost last night to the Seahawks. By the way, Russell Wilson, MVP right now so far. Russell Wilson, I'm calling it, needs an MVP. Russell Wilson is absolutely amazing. The fact that he hasn't had an MVP yet is incredible. And if he keeps this style of play, he definitely deserves an MVP. Kyler Murray is going to be in the conversation. Mahomes and Lamar are all going to be in conversation. If Deshaun Watson can get his crap together, I mean, they took away his best receiver, but if he can get it together, I mean, he might be in the conversation. I don't know, but the Texans are not playing very well. Man. Yeah, let me just say I didn't mean for this whole podcast to be just about Washington, but that's my take on it. I wanted to mention the fact that that I do believe they can beat Cleveland. I do believe that they've got a shot at Baltimore if they can get the offense rolling. They're going to have to drop 35 to beat Baltimore, I believe. Because Baltimore is going to come in and they're going to play. I mean, Baltimore is rolling on teams right now. And I do believe that if they don't play hard enough on offense, to me, the way to beat Baltimore is to keep the ball away from them. If they score quick, we need a long 10-minute drive and tie it up. And then if we can stop Baltimore, give us another 10-minute drive and take the lead. Like, you can beat Baltimore that way. Keep it out of Lamar Jackson's hands. That's the game I'm curious to see our defense play against. I don't know if they're going to do well. They got destroyed by Murray yesterday. And they had a great game last week, but it was against a beat-up offensive line in the Philadelphia Eagles, who lost again yesterday. By the way, let me just say, I have no idea how the Dallas Cowboys came back from that kind of a deficit. At one point, I think it was like 39-17 or 39-10. How they did that, I have no idea. Let me just say, look, I know I'm a Washington fan, but bravo, Dallas. I've never seen anything like that. Never really. You guys did a good job. That's the kind of talent I know that they've got. And by the way, Atlanta, ever since your choke in the Super Bowl, you guys have become legendary choke artists. I truly believe that. I didn't think a team could choke as much as they did in the Super Bowl, and you proved me wrong again yesterday. You choked a 39-17 lead, man. Like, you guys were destroying Dallas. Like, you were up at one point, what was it, 20-0? 24-0? I don't know. Dallas was getting crushed. What happened? Whoever the defensive coordinator is and the special teams coordinator, you both need to lose your jobs. Because your offense, don't blame Matt Ryan or anybody. They scored you 39 points and you still lost by 1 point. Because when you kick an onside kick, you have to actually go for the ball. I watched the onside kick. No Falcon went for the ball. They just stood there. So, yeah, congratulations to Dallas on that. I'm going to actually give them props because that's an incredible comeback, no matter who you are. So, yeah. And let me just say that I hope we do well against Cleveland. I hope Washington does well against Cleveland. I hope they finally figure out what their team name is going to be soon, because fans are getting rowdy on that. And I hope, listen to me, I can't stress this enough. Dwayne Haskins Jr. is not bad. Right now, at this moment, he is not playing good, which is why I called him trash. He's playing like trash. And we don't need that. Can he win games? Absolutely. He's got the talent. He can throw the ball a very hard, very long way. But Dwayne Haskins needs to get it together, or I say After Baltimore, if they've not won a game yet, if they are 1-4, it is time to play Kyle Allen. And then reevaluate Alex Smith's injury. In which I don't know if he's ever going to be on the field again, let alone play. But the fact that that man is walking, I'm going to give him credit. Because that was a scary situation. He almost lost his leg because of an infection. So, in closing, next week I'm going to talk about some TV shows, some things I wanted to this week, but I got into a little bit of a rant. But in closing, let me just say, Washington, I still love you. Dwayne Haskins, I don't hate you, man. I'm telling you, I don't hate you. But you are playing like garbage. Offensive line, you are playing like garbage. You guys need to step up. Wide receivers, someone other than Terry McLaurin has to get open. Logan Thomas, you need to block a little bit, and you need to come out, and you need to tell Dwayne Haskins, when in doubt, throw to me. Teach Dwayne Haskins how to throw to a tight end. We don't have a tight end at all. Okay, we have a bunch of tight ends. We have Sprinkle, we have Logan Thomas, but those guys, they have to be targeted. You have Dontrell Inman. If you get him the ball in open space, that guy is speedy. He is very fast. He's not great when it comes to beating corners, but if you get him the ball in open space, he's going to get you some yards. Terry McLaurin, amazing as always. We all know this. Give the ball to your running backs more. Play the clock game. That's where you guys succeed a lot. So in closing, Washington, love you. Haskins, play better. O-line, play better. Receivers, play better. Defense, keep doing what you're doing. You're not doing so bad. I thought you were going to get destroyed yesterday. You didn't get destroyed. You were let down by your offense. If they'd have held the ball a little bit more, it might not have been 30 points scored. You could have held them to 20-something. But you got to keep the ball away from Kyler Murray. And to do that, you have to actually have the ball and burn the clock up a little bit. He probably got 3 extra possessions yesterday because we went 3 and out so many times. So as always, like, subscribe, favorite. This is episode 5 of the It's Showtime podcast. With me, TCT, I will talk to you guys next week. Thank you for listening. Have a great week.